All right, awesome. Hi, everyone. So lovely to see all of you here on a Saturday. We have been doing this episodes, today's episode 7. It's been lovely to host all of these lovely marketers. As you all probably know, my name is Vanshika. I am a brand storyteller and communication specialist. And the goal with this entire show and the layout is so that you take away really actionable marketing advice right from the horse's mouth from so many different industries that in this show in the next 50 minutes you're going to literally get a crash course on marketing. I'm really excited because our panel today is coming from such diverse backgrounds. Super excited to have everyone here, so warm welcome to all of the panelists. If you could please go ahead and introduce yourself. Anita, if you'd go first.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks, Vanshika, for having us on behalf of everyone, I'm saying. It's been really like a excitement from the last 10 days since we are like counting down on, this is going to happen. And we're like really, really excited, posting on LinkedIn, here, there. So, yeah, very happy to be here. I'll just tell a bit about myself. I come from Kutch, Gujarat. This place is known for the earthquake that came in 2001. It's like very, very famous for that. उसके आगे किसी को कुछ पता नहीं है what it is there for. But I come from there, and I did my graduation in Bachelor's of Science. I moved to Bangalore in 2015 after doing my graduation. By then, I had, I had a show on All India Radio. I had a poetry book published. I had two national records, and that's when I was getting my first ever job. So all of this before even getting a job, and I was like, okay, what do I need to do in my life? Because everything was so scattered away, right? Like I don't know if I want to become a radio jockey full time, or do I want to become a journalist full time, or an editor, or what? But when I joined my first company, I think I got a lot of experience, a lot of exposure to different things, where I found out that marketing was my thing. Personal branding, to be specific, was my thing, and personal branding couldn't have been done without, uh, support from marketing. So that is what got me started. I started my first company in 2016, which was called Wings to Wills. It was only about personal branding for CXOs and yellow collar individuals. And yeah, after which there were a few years where I worked with some agencies. There was this agency, and I worked for brands like Airtel, Radio Mirchi, Kalzais, Bhima Jewelers, all of these big brands. Then I started Spacemen in now on January 2019. It's been more than 1.5 years now. We have done great with the revenue. We have done great with getting clients like Mo Engage, like Red Bars, Crystal.ai. We have clients from US, Singapore, India, and it's doing great. So we basically do influencer marketing, public relations, and personal branding.
That's so awesome. So lovely to have you with us, Anita. Arihan, tell us a little bit about yourself. And also, everybody asked me, what does Baba Lava Dub Dub mean? So, if you can tell the audience, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Aryan. I'm 24 years old. I'm from a place called Belgaum. It's a city between Goa, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. Recently, 3 years back, I moved to Bangalore for some internships, and yeah, after coming to Bangalore, I felt that okay, Bangalore is very fast. I need to stay updated. I need to be fast. So I decided to stay in Bangalore forever. Then I quit my college there and then. So I'm right now only a 12th pass person. Uh, yeah, I did 4 5 internships everywhere I could get an internship, 3,000, 5,000, whatever money I could get.
Arihan,
Aryan,
I
your
think
audio is
you're
off.
muted. You've gone off. We can't hear you. Okay, he will be back, I guess. Let's give him a quick second.
Yeah, I think Chrome is giving some. It doesn't want me to talk long, so Uh, I learned some social media marketing, how things work, how client servicing works, blah 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 blah. There मेरे को memes से मेरा introduction हुआ. I started seeing memes on the internet. I started understanding memes. I started reading about memes. I started learning about culture and everything. And I realized, okay, meme marketing is going to be the next big thing. uh, I don't know how big is it now, but yeah, it's pretty big. But after learning that, I decided, ki, okay, let's start a company. Let's see what can we do. And I had a very my past company was very toxic, and I didn't like it there. And I'm like, fuck it. I quit the company. I called my two friends from Belgaum, college friends, and we are like, okay, let's start. 2 months we just sat around, tried something, and all. Got a big break. Got one big client. From that one client, we managed to get around 25 more clients. So that how powerful memetics was and everything. And right now, the meaning of bubble abba dub dub, तो हम लोग काम करते थे. We first kept our company's name Fast Marketing. We thought, okay, fast. We like fast, 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 fast. फिर फास्ट मार्केटिंग उसका ये नहीं मिला अपने को. वी couldn't register it. Then we thought कि नाम में क्या रखा है, .com रख देंगे कुछ तो कुछ समझना नहीं था. And for that time we didn't have money to even register, you know. If you want to select a name, you have to pay 1,000 rupees. And we had like 3-4 thousand, that's it. So we were very curious. अरे यार बार बार अगर हम अलग अलग नाम अप्लाई करेंगे और वो अप्रूव नहीं होगा, we lose money. So I'm like, we're big fans of the show called Rick and Morty. It's one of the highly rated shows and one of the best shows in the world. And उसमें ये था कि wobble abba dub dub, he keeps saying whenever he gets excited, whenever something's happening, and we got it. It was very catchy. तो लाइक यार ठीक है रख देते हैं, बाद में सोचेंगे अगर चेंज करना है तो. अभी फिलहाल के लिए टू स्टार्ट वी वांटेड अ बैंक अकाउंट टू गेट पेमेंट्स, तो उसके लिए हमको रजिस्टर करना था. तो हमने रख दिया ऐसे ही नाम. मजाक मजाक में किया ये सब. हमको पता नहीं था कि आज 2 साल बाद हम इतनी बड़ी कंपनी हो जाएंगे या जो भी है. राइट नाउ वी आर अ टीम ऑफ अराउंड 50 people, and we
Wow.
have over 200 interns with us every month. uh, we have more than 60 clients. We have around हमने बहुत सारे लोगों को मीम मार्केटिंग को इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया, बहुत सारे क्लाइंट्स को.
Hmm.
प्लस या नाउ वी हैव स्टार्टेड लॉट ऑफ न्यू थिंग्स. हमने मीम इंक्यूबेशन चालू किया, वेयर वी आर हेल्पिंग पीपल. इफ यू हैव अ मीम आइडिया बट
Oh no, Arihant, you muted again. Do you wanna try logging in on incognito? There's some issue where you keep like spacing out bar beach mein. I don't know what the issue is. Matlab, he's spacing out. I think he'll be back.
या
Arihant? Okay, cool. Yes.
Tushar, I think you can start.
Yeah, Tushar, go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, just to give a background about myself, so I come from North, I come from Punjab, but I stayed around 10 states moving around India, where my dad's job kept traveling. I'm an engineer. I call myself a space engineer for a reason because I sincerely believe that it's not for me. I'm lucky that I'm out of it. So I'll understanding my background of work where I started from. So I'm a big United fan, Man United. I follow a lot of cricket, and because of that, I used to be very active on all the social media platforms, commenting and posting and discussing things. And that's the time around 2012 when Facebook had unlimited Facebook reach, and we had the maximum reach for all the posts. At that time, I started working with few companies. I had my own pages where I had million fans or 2 million fans, and then we used to create a lot of content for these guys. And that is how we started getting into affiliate marketing and partnership, and that was a good start for me there. As a 21-year-old, if you're getting 50,000 a month, that's like a huge thing for you. So that was what we were getting during the good olden days of Facebook. So from there on, when the Facebook reach had gone off, and then I started working in social media space. I worked for a company called Skin Mantra. It sells laptop accessories and everything. From there on, then I did my post grad at Mica. From there on, then I worked with Publicis, and currently I'm working with a company called Games 24/7. It's a gaming company. I handle the marketing, for the brand for My 11 Circle Cricket right now, which is going on as well. So you guys can also log in if you want to play fantasy there. That's more about it.
That's awesome. All right. So I do see we have a lot of new people here. So let me just quickly tell you what the format is. It's very straightforward. I ask a question. All four of the speakers answer the question. They have a 1 minute buzzer. The buzzer rings very loud. You will be able to hear it. I promise you. And you have to basically give up whatever knowledge slash gyan slash actionable advice, preferably the non-gyan part, and give us whatever you know about that particular topic or question in under a minute. So the show time is technically set for exactly 48 minutes. So we have exactly 12 questions. So let's try and quickly get this started. I know we have a lovely audience with us today. So let's quickly get this started with the first question. Amanpreet, can you hear us? Can you just say yes so that I can just make sure you are able to hear us? Amanpreet, can you hear us? Okay, I don't think Amanpreet can hear us right now, so we'll just quickly get started. Right now for the first six questions. Anita, then Arihant, then Tushar. Let Amanpreet. Okay, Arihant is gone as well. So let's just get started. I'll just wait for Arihant to log back in. Arihant, all good? Can you hear us? Yes? Okay, cool. So let's get started with the first question, and it's a very easy question. The question is, give us your top 5 to 7 free marketing tools that you use in your stack.
Okay, marketing tools can also have design tools, etc.
Doesn't matter. Top 5 or 7 free marketing tools that everybody can use and should use.
Okay. Should I start?
Yes, yes, please.
I couldn't hear the buzzer.
No, no, it'll ring at the 1 minute mark.
Oh, okay, okay. So Canva, ConvertKit, BG, BG remover, whatever it is, background remover, and there is HubSpot, and there is Gmail or Mailchimp that I use.
Okay, awesome. Arihant, what are your top tips?
Canva for sure. Canva is my love. I use Canva on day-to-day basis. Second, I like to use Slite, Slite. It's a project management tool. It helps me organize कि मेरे को ये project कैसे करना है. After Slide, I like Excel sheets, the Google Sheets, because of the link sharing capacity. It is very powerful if we use it right. These three are my go-to tools. I don't use other tools. These three are like the best tools for me.
Got it. Okay, Tushar, go for it.
Yeah, so I'll go with a little unconventional tools because these are the majorly tools used in day-to-day function. I'll go with something called, because I come from more of a brand side of things. So when we do a lot of research for brands, we need to understand what the brands are doing. So there's something called Facebook Ad Gallery. So you can put Facebook Ad Gallery on Google. You'll get that link. You click any brand name, it will show what all ads they're running at that point of time on Facebook. So they'll get a good idea what is the brand language they're following, what is the copy that they're writing, how the design system is. So it will give you a good idea that how you want to place yourself. Second, I think which one I use a lot is Google Drive. I mean, Google Drive is a lifesaver for me in a lot of ways because especially with a lot of creatives which are heavy, we need to have a platform where we can put everything and everyone can access that. So that's one more. Uh, and another, I think Canva is something which all of us use very heavily. I come from a advertising background, so we used to make a lot of decks. So we get a lot of good inspiration on the decks.
And that is what the buzzer sounds like. I'm glad you all heard it in the first question. Now you know what it sounds like. All right. The next question is, how would you perform market research in another country without any budget?
Okay. So I think I have already done that through my networks. I use LinkedIn because that gives me a lot of connections even outside India. I do have all of them. Um, are there any more ways that I need to tell, or it's like one or two?
You can talk for a minute. You have an
Okay.
entire minute just for this.
So there's this one more, co-founders club that I recently discovered where it is international and there are CTOs that we can find for our product that we are going to build or something like that. If you're finding a co-founder, right? So that gave me a lot of insights on different kind of, domains in tech that were out there in US but not in India.
Got it. Okay, cool. Arihan, go for it.
So if I want to do something in a different country without any budget, I would use Twitter first. I would tag all the tech journalists there or journalists which जो लोग मेरे research को cater करेंगे. I will tag them on Twitter and use Twitter first. Apart from Twitter, what we can do is, of course, use BuzzSumo to understand and get the right articles around the topic जो चल रहा है. And there is this thing called Instagram stories. If we know someone, if we know two three people also there, अगर वो लोग उनके Instagram stories में they put up a question answers and a yes no, it can help me for market research in a different country without any putting any money, no ad money and all.
Very smart. Tushar, go for it.
Yes, to be very honest, again, coming from a marketeer side where we have a lot of levels of breaking down things, it might be useful, not be useful a lot of times. So it all depends on your objective at the end of the day. So what is the market research for? What are you doing it for? If it's and it that is where I'll decide the platforms. But one platform, if I'm going with a more serious kind of research and which is a very underrated platform, I think is Reddit. I think Reddit is basically a place for purists, and for all the purists in the world for any topic, they come to Reddit. So I think if I have to gather a knowledge for any particular thing, I think using Reddit smartly can be a good way for me to understand what actually the sentiment of that place is.
Yeah,
Got it.
I agree. Reddit is a crazy tool for market research.
Awesome. Amanpreet, can you hear us? Can you
Yeah,
say hello? Okay,
I
awesome.
can hear
Cool.
you.
Cool.
Sorry that I was not
Amanpreet is
able to.
here. I think his video is not working, but that's fine. So the order is now going to be Amanpreet, Anita, Arihan, Tushar. So that's it. Very straightforward. Okay. Amanpreet, you have 1 minute to answer the next question. The
Yeah, sure.
question is, what is the biggest pain point for marketers when catering to a desktop and a mobile audience?
Yeah, I think we need to be mobile first, primarily because we've seen 80 to 90% of the audience is coming from mobile. But that thought has to be embedded right from the way you start making your creatives to the way you deploy your creatives. So right now, a lot of agencies, because in our offices we work on our desktops, etc. When we view the creative quality, etc., we do it on desktops. We don't consider even the mobile browser versions of it and screen sizes of it. But now, given we are going mobile first, uh, the thought has to start from the way we conceptualize the creative to the way we deploy it, even on when we're deploying the creative on Facebook, etc. So the challenge is that the people still test out their creatives, especially the marketeers on the brand side, mainly on desktop, etc. Whereas the audience, the 80 to 90% audience is on phones. So mobile first, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Anita, go for it.
Yeah, so I think as Amanpreet said that we should go mobile first. Even there, which what I feel is not just the creator but the copy matters the most, and something that the ad is positioning out there should be relatable to people, or maybe trying to solve a problem or whatever it is. Like the right messaging is what is important, be it on mobile or be it on desktop, which I feel also lacks even when agencies work on the brand campaign.
Got it. Arihan, go for it.
So I haven't learned any desktop marketing. I don't know how desktop marketing is. Mobile marketing is the only thing I rely on because I believe Instagram memes are the most consumed things by individual. Of course, I see how people are hooked. I am hooked to my phone. Like I don't want to be hooked to my phone. Even when I was doing the session, continuous messages, notification, this, that. I see it on my phone, but on my laptop there are 12 tabs open. I don't even know what tabs are open. कौन से साल से वो open है. So I believe if we so the biggest in India, I think Instagram and Twitter are so powerful right now that वहाँ पे आप लोग सब कर सकते हो straight from first thing to the end. Up you can start your survey, your awareness, your Q&A, your everything, and then even if you can do sales there. So mobile marketing is it.
Got it. Tushar, what's your take?
Yeah. So I feel again, I think mobile is the way to go. I mean, all of us have realized that even when we market for a my level circle, all of our creatives are focused towards mobile. There is no see. We need to also understand that the user behavior of both desktop and mobile. Mobile is something which is there with you all the time. So it's like a partner to you. So everything reflects in that. So the kind of communication, that goes out, and as Anita also said, copy plays a very huge role. Right now, our attention spans are so bad. If something is not able to grab our attention within a millisecond, it will not work. But whereas on a desktop, I think it goes for differently, because desktop is a more of a serious platform. I mean, you see people on desktop and you see they're working, and that is more or less the behavior we see. बहुत कम ही होगा अगर आप कुछ देख रहे हो OTT पे मतलब and anything, you'll be using your laptop. But it's an opportunity for marketers also, because they know that why desktop is being used now, so the strategy can change accordingly.
Got it. Okay. The next question, and Amanpreet, this one goes for you first.
Yeah.
And it's from the performance section. So the next three questions are going to be all from performance. So, uh, how do you use performance marketing to engage an audience to push them towards a purchase?
Yeah, I think that's the goal, right? So performance, the way it differs from brand is that you have fixed goals and KPIs to achieve. Depends on what sort of campaign you're running. If it's an awareness campaign, the KPIs change. If it's a conversion campaign, the KPI changes to a sign up or a buy. For me, the performance starts from the creative. The copy you create defines the action you are trying to see and the way you deploy it. For example, if you put a creative on Facebook which says learn more, it's an awareness. If it says sign up or buy now, it's a conversion. So the way you define your copy, number one, both copies cannot work. For example, if you're running an awareness campaign, it can't work for a conversion one. And then how you deploy it, and how where do you land. Landing page is the most important thing, like shoppable ads, etc. So if you're landing on a e-com platform, then obviously that's where you get the traffic from. So I think it's the thought process. It has to start with what you are targeting to start with. It's an awareness or a conversion.
Got it. Got it. Beautifully answered. Anita, go for it.
Yeah, so I mostly haven't done any of the campaigns on the performance marketing. I'm more of a branding and public relations person. But as far as I know, and I've run simple campaigns for my own self, I think landing pages are somewhere, the sales happen, somewhere where people, find more information and see more relevance and see the story basically being told. That is what the selling point is. Just that grabbing point is the ad, but what the selling point comes is on the landing page, and I feel that plays a more important role, where it being responsive, it being more simple, and saying the right kind of story has the most importance there.
Got it. Tushar, go for it.
Vanshika, can you please once repeat the question? I just wanted to,
Sure, sure. So the question is, how do you use performance marketing to engage your audience and push them towards a purchase?
see, I think one thing we've realized again and again in the performance marketing system is that the mistake that all of us keep doing is that our funnel system is broken. I mean, what happens is that we follow a very linear structure. I mean, that's a mistake most of digital marketers commit. That they follow linear structure, and the communication also becomes very linear. And because of that, if you fall out of the funnel at any point, you will see inconsistent communication all the time. So what we need to do is that we need to evolve our communication funnel also by demarketing our consumers also. What is the kind of people that we are targeting? And the ad copies and the ad should be reflective of their life stage, or maybe what they do actually demographically, or work wise. So personalization in our communication plays a very huge role. So I think the more personalization by demarketing the consumer that we're able to do, I think we'll have a better impact in digital marketing. Because right now we're looking at very in a very action point of view, not from a behavior point of view. So that movement is something which is very important.
Got it. Got it. Wonderful. Okay. Next question is, if you have a minimal ad budget, would you diversify your ad placements or double down on one platform? Amanpreet, go for
Yeah.
it.
Sorry. Should you diversify or should you double? That's the question, right?
Yeah. Would you double down on the platform or would you diversify?
No, if I have a minimum ad budget, I would rather put. I would not even diversify on channel. I would even diversify it on the formats also. Like if I have a fixed amount, I will not go for a GIF and a static voice and a video. I'll focus on getting the best out of one single creative on a single platform, and depends on what sort of audience I'm targeting. So yeah, so whenever we deploy a campaign, right, there are three things to be three variables, very short. One is the creative, second is the channel, the third is the audience. how wider you want to go, okay, or how precise you want to go, because that defines the budget of your campaign. If you want to reach wider people, then you define your creative that way and you choose a channel that way. So three variables: channel, creative, and your audience. That will define my, and I'll go very precise and very niche rather than going very broad, because it doesn't help.
Got it. Got it. Anita, go for it.
Yeah, Manpreet already answered everything I wanted to say. Although, yeah, my answer would be the same. If I know who my audience is, if the product is B2B or B2C or D2C or whatever it is, I know my audience, I know my product, I know what kind of positioning it has and what kind of pricing it is being sold at. So I know what potential and where is that potential customer. I will only be putting down all my budget onto that one platform rather than going on every other platform.
Got it. Tushar, interesting to hear now because the brand person is going to speak about which one. Go for it.
Yep. So to be very honest, if normally when it comes to budgets, it's all about getting the most from them, because in gaming we are a digital company, we are ROI driven company. It's all about getting the most from any of the platform that we have. And as a gaming company, we know that what our strengths are. I mean, we know that हमें कौन से platform पैसा डालना है, because that is where we'll get the maximum traction. So we wouldn't want to experiment at that point. So for us, it will be going big on any one of the platform, not even two, as Amanpreet said. If but again, less budget also subjective. What is the less subjective space? But taking normal ratio, I think I will go big on one platform, and even if I have to experiment A/B testing, I'll do on the same platform. I won't go outside of that anymore.
Got it. Got
Life's easy for you, Tushar. Life's easy.
it.
Thank you.
Got it, got it. Interesting to hear. Okay, all right. So the next part of this discussion will focus around digital SEO, PPC, and all of that fun stuff. So,
Yeah.
Amanpreet, first question goes to you. What is the future of social media marketing within the digital marketing sphere? Like, where does it fall? How important is it? Tell us about that.
Social media marketing, that's the question, right?
Yes,
uh, I think it's if you overall say that's where the audience comes from, right? On in India, we have observed, and I, because I work for global brands outside India as well, we have observed that people here, the only way of getting people onto your platform is through social media. SEO is still a developing practice. Yes, people don't read emails a lot. People don't read newsletters a lot. So social media plays a very important role, because that's where they get the first imprint, as you may call it, and then they get into the platform. And while you're doing social media, I think content marketing becomes the most important factor. The way you put your content out there, the way you interact with your audience becomes more important than rather than the keywords you're using, or the other traditional PPC SEO techniques you're using. So for me, if you talk about India, the order of preference is social media, which is driven by content, followed by SEO, which is driven by Google, followed by your other platform. Yeah, bigger companies obviously put money in PPC, etc. But yeah.
awesome. आप तो मेरा next question ही answer कर रहे हो. Thank God the buzzer rang. Anita, go for it.
Okay, so I personally feel social media is a great thing into the whole digital marketing. Why, I'll tell you, because it gives you array of different kinds of content pieces, right? So if you want to do a video content, you can actually put it out there and reach out to the maximum audience, and you can reach out to them telling your story in it, right? Even a 1 minute video can be um, pushed out to as many people. If you put it on YouTube, or if you put ads to it, or if you do SEO to it, it will be like lesser reach because people may not be searching for you. But if you do it through social media, because I have been doing videos and posts on personal branding, I see how it has actually brought me a lot of ROI in terms of revenue, getting new clients through social media. And I think that, varies from client to client, of course, what they want to achieve as an ROI or as a KPIs. But I think, social media plays a very important role when it comes to awareness creating.
Got it. Tushar, go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I mean, I have a very different view on this when it comes to social media. So I believe that social media has been, used very badly in a way by people, because they've turned it to a platform, which is only there for ads and creating not good content. We need to understand that when it comes to brand. and all the real estate that the brand has on digital platform, be it social handles and everything, is a reflection of the brand itself. And both the ethos of the brand and the social media have to go hand in hand. If you look at brands like Airbnb or Nike, you will have a certain personality of Nike in your head, and the same will be reflective in the social media profile also. So that is how social media has to be used nowadays. That we can take the ethos of the brand and put it into social media. So I believe that as a brand, it's a very big opportunity to create a long-term community, and a big which can go across the years, which will keep getting digital sale also, because we understand the digital funnel. It's awareness to post purchase. So social media does that for you very well.
Got it. All right. So now we're at the halfway point. So it's an interesting time to switch it over. Tushar, the next question comes to you. Then it'll go to Anita, then to Amanpreet. So the next question is like, there are so many digital marketing gurus around us. Like Instagram पे तो भरे हुए हैं, हजार हैं. How do marketers kind of stand out from the crowd and really make an impact? You can talk specific to digital or in general, but ideally the question is about digital. So whatever your thoughts are, go for it. You have a minute.
See, to be very honest, a lot of digital marketing gurus are out there, but I think digital marketing is not about selling yarn, but actually doing things. So, if you want to get into digital marketing, follow any guru that you want to follow, but start doing by yourself. Get your friend's account, or your account or your family's account, and start putting Google AdWords money on that and start spending. That is the only way to understand which digital guru to follow. So I will not say anyone who's right or wrong. I would say that उनका आप पढ़ो जो भी बोल रहे हो, but start implementing it. Lose money, earn some money, and see what works for you. Then go as per that.
Got it. Wonderful. Anita, go for it.
Okay, so question is, how do we stand out as a marketer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I feel one is the, I'll talk on personal branding stuff right now, because each one has different kind of view on how they stand out. Every platform has different kind of algorithm. If you try and understand which platform works for you, you can just focus on that platform. Connect with as many people as possible. Try and build your tribe by doing things. As Tushar said, you have to do things, you have to show them how it works. You have to build a tribe around yourself, and that tribe is the one who will differentiate you from the others. So I think that the community part is very, very important here for an individual to stand out on any platform on social media.
Got it. Amanpreet, go for it.
Yeah, I think more than digital marketers, now we have growth marketers, because I think that digital marketing has kind of become exhausted, so people have come to growth marketing. But for me, I think what Tushar said is pretty right. You have to first identify a niche, and that's what you like. You can't be everyone there. You can't be an SEO expert. You can't be a social media expert. You can't be a ad tech expert. First, identify what attracts you more. Okay. For example, when I started, influencer marketing was something which influenced me a lot. Like, I like to learn about it. Hence, I started posting content about it, and I developed the niche. Okay, this is a guy who understands content marketing well. So rather than going into all five directions and being a guru of the entire digital marketing tech stack, which you can never be, identify a niche, write about it, learn about it, follow the right people, share good stuff, build a tribe, as what Anita said, and then that's where you can say that's your POP, point of parity, and a point of
Hmm.
differentiation. The point of differentiation should be of what area you want to operate in. Like Tushar is there, he's a games marketeer. That's his niche, right? So yeah.
Got it. Okay. The next question again goes out to Tushar first. So within digital marketing or even branding for that matter, you can obviously, you target X number of people and some will be irrelevant and some will be relevant, right? That's just the nature of how these things work. So how would you kind of solve for the fact that suddenly you've gotten a lot of audience, but they're irrelevant to your product or your page? So how would you solve for that and bring them more towards your product?
I think one thing we have seen is performance marketing again and again is that we have a benefit of doing A/B testing a lot. We have benefit of testing out our audiences at every point. So Facebook is basically interest based targeting, and Google is mostly your search behavior based targeting. So you can use a lot of platform specific tools to understand that Facebook gives you an option of lookalike audience. So once, let's say, you have got an audience which you feel is getting good results for you, you can keep making lookalike audiences and keep targeting as per that. So it will help you to eliminate all the audience which is not relevant for you by a lot of experimentation. And the same goes goes for a Google, which is more of a cookie-based ecosystem. As per the search behavior, you understand that which people are interested in buying something from YouTube or any other platform. So it's all about experimentation. I think keep experimenting a lot and keep your data very intact for audiences that you create after a lot of experiments.
Got it. Anita, go for it.
Okay, so I haven't mostly worked on these kind of things on Facebook or Instagram. I have only worked on LinkedIn for the ad parts. So I would say LinkedIn as a platform provides you a lot more, saturation when it comes to, what kind of filters you want. Say if you only want to target CEOs, then you can only target CEOs, and say you only want to target Bangalore, then that is what you can do. And I have spent like $80,000 on LinkedIn ads, after which I have really seen a great targeting. So when you say, you get people of your, people in your audience who are not your target audience, then that really doesn't happen on LinkedIn, because you are really targeting the only the CTO, only the CFO, only the CEO, and you're only targeting in fact, even on LinkedIn, you can also target which company CEO you want to show this ad to. I only want to show to Infosys ka CEO this advertisement, then I can do only that. So it's like very, very targeted.
Awesome. Amanpreet, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it starts with, first of all, you shouldn't get more than like the desired number of people who are not interested in the product. If you're getting that, that means your targeting or audience segmentation to start with was wrong, because Facebook, Instagram give you an option of precisely targeting the people you want, their demographics, etc. So there is no way of going general population, running the ad to everyone and then seeing who's responding. So first is build the right audience set. Second, I think you need to iterate and learn, right? Remarketing is the best way, I feel, to target people who are interested. Only
Hmm.
target people who have kind of clicked on your ad, because they know that they moved from the awareness stage to the consideration stage now, right? So
Yes.
that's where you can get the cookies, etc. Retarget them, spam them with your notifications. If they're not responding to your notifications twice or thrice, then means they're not interested. No
Got it.
running money on them. So I think it's about learning and iterating your audience set again and again, and then maybe creating new content, because that gets new people in there. So yeah.
Got it. I feel like you're just constantly reading my mind because every time I'm like looking at the next question, आपने already answered दे दिया मतलब शुरू कर दिया आपने answer. So the next question goes out to Tushar. Tushar, if you could just unmute yourself, please. Oh, okay, here I did it for you. Awesome. Okay, so the next question goes out to you, and the question is, what role does branding play in social media marketing? So if you can elaborate on that.
See, I mean, we talked about that in the previous question, also previous question. I think social media plays a huge role in branding. We need to understand that a very few brands have the capacity to actually go mass with TV and all other platforms to show to the world. But social media was the only way where a brand can interact with the consumer on day-to-day basis, and the consumer is also interested. I mean, big examples are like that of Zomato and Swiggy. These guys have made it. It feels like Zomato is just a friend that you have on Instagram.
Yes.
And that is a kind of in relationship people and again depends. I mean, if it's a B2B brand, it will be more of a formal ecosystem, but with B2C it becomes like how do a brand become the part of a person's life. Like Snicker, I mean, you become hungry, you associate that to Snicker all the time. When it comes to performance and athlete aggression, we associate that to Nike. So that is a role, Nike, sorry. So that is a role that the branding has played in the life of people, and social media can elaborate that at a huge level.
Love it. Lovely answer. Anita, share from your experience and you can feel free to speak about personal branding in particular.
Yeah, no worries. So I have actually seen brands who came to us under Spacemen, and they used to, use social media just like they use the offline hoardings, right? जैसे वहाँ पे वो लोग डाल देते हैं अपना banner, यहाँ पे they used to post every day one banner, right? They were actually doing that, and I feel, that is not the right way of using social media, be it for an individual for their personal branding or for a company to build their own brand. So one thing that I feel is there needs to be a lot of storytelling, a lot of content that relates to us. Just like Tushar said, Snickers yaad hote hai, so that's like if we are hungry, we remember Snickers, or it's Swiggy, or it's Zomato. All of these brands have actually inculcated their content in a way that it tells a story to us, which we remember. We always have, like, humans have been, uh, wired in a way that we remember stories more than anything else. So yeah.
Okay, got it. Amanpreet, go for it.
Yeah, I think Anita and Tushar summed it up very well. So, the only thing I see is that people are still using social media for awareness. They should be using it for engagement. That's where the shift has to happen. You can't just simply be putting posters and gifs out there just to say, hey, this is my product. Unless people interact with your social media post, unless they actually share your content. And there's a very book by Ashish Chopra, he's the Zigo CMO. Unless the people reshare your content, whatever you do on social media is a farce. Because, like, for example, in Unilever brands like Lifebuoy, Dove, etc., they don't need people to be aware of them. They are all aware of them. We need people to interact. And kudos to the social media platform. Like, for example, we are now chatbots, etc., Messenger, etc. So you can interact with a brand directly. You can share content. So the thing has to move from awareness to engagement. More and more people engaging with your content, resharing your content will help your branding a lot. That's the only thing.
Lovely. Again, you've done the same thing. How is this happening? My next question again to Tushar first is your top three engagement hacks to really, blow up your social media, whatever handle.
I think I'm coming from the marketing side again. The first one is giveaways. I think when it comes to giveaways, Indians go crazy. I think, and that's not coming from the brand point of view, but also when I used to freelance for a lot of social media, channels, was that if you engage with people and give them something, they will try their hard to get that. Oh, that can be one way. And giveaway cannot be some tangible giveaway, but something as an access or a subscription, something of that sort. Also, second of all, I think stories. I mean, human stories are the ones which are the biggest connect between people and the brands. I mean, we have the example of Humans of Bombay. Humans of Bombay, captures the stories of people and then plug the brand. I mean, I don't like the plug-in the way they do it, but at least it's a big example in a way how that stories are able to attract people to consume the brand. And third engagement hack that I would like to give is I think videos. I think videos is something which a brand need to focus on.
Lovely. Anita, what are your hacks?
Okay, so first of all, I would say hashtags, use the right ones so that people can search you and come there, looking for what you are exactly positioning. And second of all is, when you want engagement for yourself, you need to engage on other people's posts as well. Oh, this comes from, again, personal branding perspective, not for a brand, like a company brand perspective. I think, uh, as I've grown my own LinkedIn from zero people to view my posts like last 6 months to now at least reaching to 100K. I think there has been a great jump in that, only through the engagement that I get and the engagement that I do on other people's posts, which is again a valuable content. So it needs to be valuable, it needs to have the right hashtags, and it needs to be reaching out to the right people.
Just on time. Amanpreet, go for it.
Yeah, apart from what Tushar said in terms of giveaways, I think that's a very powerful one in stories. I think one thing which I've observed is polls and surveys also serve well. But purely engagement comes from the content you create. If you're only talking about your brand, nobody will be interested. If you're talking about the people or the topic or the problem which you are addressing, that's where actually the engagement comes from. Using influencers is a great way of gaining engagement on your platforms specifically. One thing which we have started to do in Unilever is we are now trying to create brand communities. People where people come join. It's kind of a family where people talk about usual day-to-day topics, share stuff. The more user-generated content you can get on your channel, the more engagement we will have, because that's a content that's coming directly from the people rather than the brand creating it. So I think community-based branding, community-based engagement, influencer marketing, obviously, but it's a costly one. Everybody cannot afford it. But purely if you can create communities, groups where people can share polls, surveys, more user-generated content, I think that would drive an engagement high.
Got it. All right. So now let's talk about the most controversial questions of the time, which is blocked TikTok, as we all know, and Instagram Reels is now a real thing, and people have started using it. Give us some tips and tricks of how people and brands can use Reels to its benefit and build up a new audience with the entire effort they're putting on Reels.
Uh, is it for me?
No, no, Tushar, go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I mean, I think it's a big opportunity for Instagram as well, and also for the users because Instagram has always been thought of as a very urban platform, something which is more refined and much more different than the likes of Facebook and TikToks of the world. So I think it's a big opportunity for Instagram to get a lot of tier 2, tier 3 consumers because I think these guys will get onto the platform and create content. So
Hmm,
it will be a huge boost for brands also because brands tilted towards TikTok because of the consumer base. So I think if some of the consumer base, I'm not sure if Instagram will be happy with the kind of consumers TikTok and then they will have the same. But someone of maybe that background, if they can come on Instagram, I think Instagram will have a better pull among the brands to spend more because people are not very comfortable spending on Instagram because of the limitations. So I think other than influencer marketing, it will be a good way for Instagram to earn ad revenues. And I think as marketeers, we need to create a lot of stories in that because Instagram was more of a video format, not one-on-one format. I think that would be a good way for brands.
got it. Anita, go for it. Unmute yourself. You're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Got it.
Okay, so I think, apart from influencer marketing, which brands have already been doing on Instagram, the next big thing in influencer marketing is the dark web, what you call it. When influencers actually give the brands the, permission to use their analytics and their account to repost and re-add on to what their content is. So basically, a brand using an influencer's content to put it out as an ad. That is what the next big thing is, and I think Reels, with what it has brought and the TikTok audience that is bringing, brands will get more and more hands-on practice on the dark web. So that is the next big thing.
Got it. Got it. Amanpreet, what's your take on Reels for Instagram?
Yeah, I think very obvious choice to go into short form content after TikTok being banned. But I think one thing which Instagram has to take care of is the kind of audience because TikTok was popular because they had around tier two, tier three audiences who were there. That's where the number comes from. But on Instagram, it's a more of a premium platform. You need to maintain that kind of quality. You need to moderate that content. For example, in terms of pornography, etc. So the moderation will be very important from a brand perspective. The way Instagram can be a game changer here is that because Instagram is Facebook, they have the Facebook music library, the Instagram music library, which can be used. They have the AR filters, they have the boomerang quality, they have the IGTV feed. So they have the tech stack in place to make that short form content very premium and very good. But the challenge would be to get the same kind of numbers which TikTok has shown because if you allow everyone to create any sort of content, then the quality will drop and hence the numbers will drop and hence brand will be more reluctant to be on there. So it's a balance between quality and quantity.
Got it. Okay. That brings us to the very, very last segment of this show, which is going to be 30-second answer. So it's actually rapid fire in its total true essence. So Tushar, Anita, and then Amanpreet. Tushar, one thing that you hate doing as a marketer, but you're forced to do.
Uh, Use social media for only talking about my brand.
Okay. Anita, go for it.
Spamming, email spams.
Okay. Amanpreet.
I'm not forced to do anything, but I think the only thing being that yes, for me, I have to look at a lot of channels because I work on big brands. I have to look at a lot of channels in one place. I have to look at the YouTube audience as well. I have to look at the Instagram audience as well because the brand is not satisfied only advertising on one platform. So the variety of option becomes a headache for a marketer like me.
Got it. Got it. Tushar, tell us about your favorite marketer and who you draw inspiration from.
I think my favorite marketeer, I think, is going to be a guy called Julian Cole. I mean, he's come from more of an advertising background, but he's trying to decode how advertising can be used in a much more tangible manner. Because we have thought of advertising as a tool which is very broad and it's not very targeted. But in the world of digital, where targeting is ecosystem, how do we break down every channel, how do we break down every communication and get the most out of it through having a communication with the end consumer. So I think Tool and Cole thing
Got
together.
it. Anita, favorite marketer?
Seth Godin. I love his book. This is marketing, and the way he tells, what is the difference between marketing, advertising, branding. All of this. Actually, people don't understand. Like, सब कुछ तो same है. हर जगह पैसा डालना है, ad दिखाना है. That is the thing. But no, it is not that. The way you tell story, the marketing is different from advertising. So that book tells everything. I love that book.
Love it. Amanpreet.
I think for me, Modi ji is the favorite marketer I have. To be honest, I love the way he has carried his
Then I
business
should be
persona.
telling that. It is like personal
Yeah.
branding of
Yeah, I
Modi
think
ji.
he's the personal brand. He's the biggest personal brand that can be there, and he's consistently maintained that for like more than 10 years now. On a serious note, I think I am a big fan of Neil Patel purely because of the quality content that he creates every day in day out on his channel. If you ever get to see his 5 minute video, you'll never come out disappointed. Purely Neil Patel, very recommended to follow for any digital marketer.
Love it. Okay. Tushar, next question for you is three mistakes you've made in your marketing career, which you probably learned from or which you never made.
Okay, I think the big mistake that I've made as a marketer is that I focused. I've been not been able to focus on the narrative a lot more clearly. It was more of, so it was that focusing more on media than the communication. I think it's a mistake a lot of marketeers make, that we feel that if you put ads everywhere, our message would be submitted, but that's not the case. The message has to be strong enough for it to be penetrated the right way. Second is that second mistake I made as a marketeer is
Second के लिए time ही नहीं है, but ठीक, I'll give you this time. बता दो, बता दो.
the second mistake that I made is that not using social media in the right way. It's more using more in the performance marketing space, but not in the branding and storytelling space. And the third, I think, mistake I made a lot is not understanding the media platforms. I think that leads to a lot of problems.
Okay, lovely. Anita, बता दो 30 seconds में. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, so I think the very beginning, the mistake I made was not using analytics right. Not trying to understand what is really happening on the platform and just going by the gut feeling. ये हो रहा है तो ये करना चाहिए. Not actually going by the data. So now I think that is something I've improved. The other thing would be again using social media. That is something that came to me very late. Like how do you use it properly for brands and for yourself. So I think yeah, that's the two mistakes I
Got
made.
it. Amanpreet, three mistakes that you made and you wish you never did.
I think the biggest mistake or challenge which I always have is for any, I think for any marketer, is that if we spend 100 rupees on marketing, we don't know which 50 is working, right? We still don't know which 50 is working. We are just putting it out everywhere. Even though there's a lot of analytics there, I still haven't been able to figure out the right code to say, हाँ ये ad यहाँ डालो, इतने audience पे डालो और ये चल जाएगा. That's something which I have never not been able to decipher, and I don't think I'll be able to. The other mistake was I went very specific. For example, I started learning SEO. I read everything about SEO, where my role does not require that to be. It has to be broader. So yeah.
Got it, got it. Okay. 30 seconds again, Tushar. What's the difference in working in a marketing team at a startup versus a big company? What are the major differences you'll see?
I think working in a small company, you'll have to do everything, and there's nobody is going to be there to guide you in a lot of ways. You are going to be someone who needs to hustle a lot and be on your toes all the time. Be looking for a lot of things. Working in a big company, the problem is that there are too many people telling you what to do. And because of that, the problem is that you won't be able to understand what works the best. Aapka scope of experimentation will go down a lot. So your learning maybe might not be as great as it's a startup in the early stages because you're experimenting and learning.
Got it. Anita.
Yeah, same. I think I haven't worked in a big company ever. I've always worked in startups, be it small startups or growth stage startups. The one thing that I've seen is that I get to work closely with the decision makers and I try and, convince them that this is something that will work and try and experiment and go with what I feel is right. And they kind of also appreciate me coming up with new experiments, right? So I think that is one thing which has been great. And also the go-getter, like you become the hustler, you do everything. So yeah,
Got
that is
it.
one thing I love about it.
Got it. Amanpreet.
Yeah, for me, I think I've worked with Unilever, big company. So we have 10 agencies to help us. Okay. So the problem is that you are getting feed from 10 different agencies, 10 different people. And hence, if you are not the go-getter, you always get into habit of spoon feeding. Okay. But fortunately, I haven't got into that. So the thing is that I pick up the best I get from the best agency that's out there, and I use that for my learning. Hence, it has helped me. The good thing with working with big companies is you always have the brand budget to do any sort of experiment you have. You know you have the money, and if it even if it fails, the company will still have the money to put in there. So that's the
Lovely. Lovely, got it. Okay, so we have a couple of audience questions that my super sweet new moderator and part of Team Rapid Fire Farheen sent me. So Ashish asks, what's the power of influencer marketing for a new brand? He specifically asked in the context of a D2C market, but if you want to not do D2C, that's fine as well. Tushar, go for it.
Yeah. So I mean, when it's a small brand, I mean, it's a brand which is small, or which has just started recently or something like that.
He just said new brand in the D2C segment.
See, to be very honest, in the D2C space, the king has to be the product. And if you're very convinced that you have all the hygiene in space, which is your website, your e-commerce, and all of those things, where you can supply everything to the right person, the right time. I think influencer marketing can be huge. We have had a lot of brands in US, especially in the beauty space, and we have a lot of examples in South Korean beauty, face masks and everything, all of that thing. They become very popular through influencer marketing. So if your product is great and you're very convinced that it will do well, I think influencer marketing in a very genuine way, and which brings out the better of the product in a very proper way, I think that's a good example to go on. I think
Uh,
Dollar Shaving Club also was one of the examples in US.
Absolutely. They've done it beautifully. Anita, your turn.
Yeah, so we worked with a D2C brand under Spacemen on influencer marketing. It is called Free Will. It is actually Series B funded by Sequoia. And we used the kind of product it was prepared, customized for each of the influencers, which gave them the results. And for the influencers to be more and more authentic, they had voiced out their opinions, not only on the platforms that we asked them to, but they also voiced their reviews of of the product on various platforms. So I think the influencer marketing that we planned upon went 3x the returns that we got. And influencer marketing really works well if it is done in the right way, using the right influencers and using the right product given to them.
Got it. Amanpreet?
Yeah, I think like Tushar said, for D2C brands, product is the key. And second, I think because they are D2C, the distribution is a constraint, right? They cannot do pan India. Hence, their audience also is a constraint. Example, Ustra started by launching in Mumbai and Bangalore. They had two very key markets there, and hence if you first of all, I don't think influencer marketing is the way to go for D2C brands. But even if you're doing, the thing is you have to try out the local influencers rather than going to the big back one. I would rather do a Marathi actor rather than doing a Varun Dhawan. Okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is that uh, obviously because you don't have that sort of budget, you will not do PPC etc. because you never rank. So organic marketing plus some sort of local influencer marketing will do the trick maybe.
Got it. Got it. Tushar, what is your take on getting clients or in maybe your brand to spend money on non-popular platforms as such, like maybe Quora, or there's a question for you specifically about Twitch, for example. So tell us a little bit about how do you probably convince your boss or probably convince a client in the case of Anita to spend on platforms like Quora and all of that.
See, the reasons why. So every marketing strategy has always has a mix. We have a mix. We have some short-term goals, we have some long-term goals, and we have some goals as per the timelines. So when it comes to building a brand, see, there are two things. One is selling a product, and second is selling a brand. Uh, when we're selling a brand, the thing is that we have to look at a long-term point of view also. For long-term strategies, we have your platforms like Twitch. or your Quora. So Twitch is mostly from a gaming side of things. I come more from a fantasy space, so it's more real time game, so we can't record it. So Twitch is not working out for us. But Quora is a big influencer platform for people who want to know more about the company or new recruits who want to join the company. So I think it's about marketing mix. We have looking right now, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram are working for us, and there's a long term thing. We focus more on Reddit or your likes of Quora.
Got it. Parikshit, I hope you got your answer. I see you double message, so I hope you got your answer. If not, you can definitely connect up with Tushar during the networking that will happen right after this show is done. Anita, tell us about convincing clients for the same.
Oh, for sale. I do business development. I can talk about this very well. Okay. So, what I do is understand the client's problem सबसे पहले. If we do not understand और जाके सीधा plan दे दिया, this is what we do, this is what you should do, or this is what our past clients have done, that really doesn't work. That doesn't work ever. क्योंकि marketing में every person, every company has a different problem. It may be on any level of the funnel. It can be branding, it can be public relations. Some people do not understand the difference between branding and public relations, or do not understand what public relations can give them as an ROI. क्योंकि एक मीडिया में आर्टिकल छप गया, उससे क्या मिलने वाला है, people really do not know, or they do not know how to even measure what kind of readership that particular article got. So one thing is understanding the problem of the client and then giving them a customized solution, trying to understand that, say, if this company was my own company, how am I going to deal with the marketing there? So if that is my attitude towards it, and the client really realizes that through my pitch, they are surely going to be all in to work with me.
Lovely. Amanpreet, what's your take?
Yeah, the question was on Quora and other platforms, right?
Someone asked for Quora and someone asked for Twitch, but I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if you're comfortable
yeah,
with
yeah. No, no,
Quora.
I've done both because
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Go ahead and
yeah.
answer.
So, for example, like we found Quora to be very useful for edtech, right? Like education platforms, because people search a lot of stuff on Quora related to what course should I pursue, etc. So, first is I think what Anita said. You need to identify the problem and the area which the client is trying to deal with. If it's a very different problem, you simply can't recommend Quora, etc. Quora, it has a specific niche to it. It has a specific SEO angle to it when you're talking about, for example, education, tech, career counseling, etc. Twitch, I think we have used Axe. So for Axe, we've used Twitch. That's where I think we get the Gen Z audience, people from 14 to 25. And that's where, because we find the right audience mix there, we recommend, I go for Twitch whenever I find the right audience mix there. So depends on problems and audience mix.
Got it, got it. That brings us to the end of Marketing Rapid Fire episode 7. It has been an absolute pleasure to host all of you. You guys have been amazing. Really sorry about the little tech glitches that came up. Unfortunately, Arihant was not able to make it. But that being said, thank you guys so much for your time. You guys are a wonderful audience, wonderful panel. Usually, right after Marketing Rapid Fire is done, I encourage all of the speakers to go to the networking lounge. Please go over there, just pick a table. So there are 6 tables. Pick a table to sit on, and you can actually chat with all of them one on one, depending on what table they're on. I highly encourage you to do that. It's the best part. I look forward to this a lot. Thank you, and see you on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
for
Thanks a
having
lot,
us.
Vanshika.
See you. See you.